In video production, the 180-degree shutter rule dictates that whenever your goal is to achieve natural-looking motion, you should set your shutter speed to double your frame rate. So when shooting at 25 frames per second, your shutter speed should be set to 1/50th of a second. When shooting at 50 frames per second, your shutter speed should be set to 1/100th of a second, and so on. When your scene is very bright, your camera may need the equivalent of a pair of sunglasses to maintain correct exposure with these shutter speeds. Traditionally, that would mean screwing an ND filter to the front of your lens. But screw-on ND filters bring a few challenges of their own. They can prevent you from using the lens hood. They won't fit every lens without step-up or step-down rings. And being on the front of your lens, it makes them susceptible to flaring. So Canon have produced this brilliant adapter with a built-in variable ND filter, which goes between the lens and the camera body. However, it can only be used with their full-frame mirrorless cameras using lenses designed for their DSLRs. And here's why. A DSLR has a mirror box in front of the camera sensor, creating a gap between the sensor and where the lens attaches to the camera body. This gap is called the flange distance, and lenses for DSLRs are optically designed with this flange distance in mind. Mirrorless cameras position the sensor much closer to the lens mount, requiring new lens designs. Although you can't attach lenses designed for a mirrorless camera onto a DSLR, you can attach DSLR lenses to a mirrorless camera with an adapter. This adapter cleverly fits a variable ND filter into the space where the mirror box would have been. And unlike some third-party options, it maintains an electrical connection between the lens and the camera. The quality of the variable ND filter itself is great. Some cheap variable ND filters show an X pattern at the darker end of their adjustment. But the one Canon have employed here shows no obvious optical compromises. The strength of the filtration is adjusted with a small wheel that sits nicely near your thumb, and the degree of travel makes it easy to set correctly without turning repetitively. The only slight negative is that you'll need to remove it in low light, as it's not fully transparent even at its brightest setting. But it is much more convenient than carrying traditional ND filters. And at the time of recording this video, Canon is the only camera manufacturer to offer this kind of a solution. At £400, it's not cheap, but for me, it's a good reason to continue using older and cheaper EF and EFS lenses. When it comes to small mirrorless cameras, this adapter and filter combination is something of a game changer. My name's Julian, and as is usual, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. I'd also appreciate your feedback with a thumbs up or thumbs down, and if you'd like to see more, please consider subscribing. But that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.